You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in to Watson's Playbook. All right, guys, welcome in to Watson's Playbook, episode 29 here. Hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. Ate a lot of food. I know I did. I ate way too much food. Had a lot of family over and just had a good time. Friday after Thursday, we ended up renting out one of those movie theaters. The family went and saw Grinch Stole Christmas. Then we headed over to Babe's. I don't know if you've ever had Babe's before, but Babe's is a really good fried chicken spot here. Took the family out there and had a good time. So hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Hope you were able to celebrate it in the way that you wanted to. And we're looking forward here to Christmas because, Thanksgiving kicks off. It's my favorite holiday. And then we start into Christmas and we put up the tree. We put up the decorations outside. And our elf on the shelf comes for the girls. Her name's Gwen. She comes for the girls, and they're super excited about that. So it's a great time of year. Let's go ahead and jump into the weekly sports update. All right, well, this is actually a game because of COVID. The Steelers and Ravens game was supposed to be played the late game on Thanksgiving. It got canceled because of COVID. It got moved back, and it actually just ended up finishing while ago. The Steelers go to 11-0. They beat the Baltimore Ravens without Lamar Jackson. They beat them 19-14, so it's still a close game. Tough defensive game, but Steelers get the job done there. All right, this past Sunday, Mahomes puts on a show. He showed up, and he put up 462 yards, 3 touchdowns as they take down Tom Brady and the Buccaneers 27-24. Hill, the wide receiver, he was killing it. He had 209 yards in the first quarter and 3 touchdowns from Mahomes. He finished the game with 269 yards. He was able to just get past the defense. They couldn't stop him. And then eventually in the second half, that defense of the Bucs were able to double team him and kind of slow him down. But you cannot leave that man one-on-one because you're going to get burnt. The Chiefs seem to be in control of this game most of the ball game. It's closer score at the end. Brady did seem to come back a little bit, but Chiefs are pretty much in control of that one. Number 2, the Patriots sneak by the Cardinals 20-17. And this is one of those games that you look at and you're like, how did the Cardinals lose? Arizona won every stat there is in the game. They won time of possession. They won the turnover battle. They won third down percentages. They won passing yards, rushing yards, total yards. Cam Newton only had 84 passing yards. The Cardinals found a way to lose this game. And this was up in Foxborough. This is a game that Cardinals are going to look back on and wish they had this one back because they really should have won. Number 3, the 49ers upset the Rams 23-20. was the final score. Goff had a bad game. He didn't pass the ball well at all. I don't think he passed for over 200 yards. He had 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. This is the first time Sean McVay's actually come out and criticized him publicly for the first time, said he needs to play better and stop turning over the football. The 49ers are finding a way to get it done without a lot of their talent. And they're a tough team. I really like their coach. They lost Jimmy Garoppolo. They lost wide receivers. They've been depleted of their talent, and they're finding a way to still be competitive. And they were able to take down the Rams, which surprised me this last Sunday. Number 4, the Titans stopped the Colts 45-26. Derrick Henry dominated with 178 yards and 3 touchdowns. He averaged 6.6 yards a carry against a good defense. The Colts do have a very good defense. They're a team to me, though, that are going to fluke out in the playoffs. They're a team that I don't find too much of a threat. I'm not too big of a threat of Phillip Rivers, and they did beat my team, Green Bay, but Green Bay gave them a lot of help with 4 turnovers. That helped them out and win. We should have beat the Colts. We didn't. The Titans come in, they smack them around. Derrick Henry's a beast, and they get the job done there. Number 5, the Atlanta Falcons dominate the Raiders 43-6, and the Falcons are doing much better. They're 4-2 since they fired their head coach and GM. They should be 5-1, but they screwed up on a play against Detroit and ended up costing them that game. It has to be very frustrating to be a Raiders fan. The Raiders are so inconsistent, and that's why I've got to count them out. They show up one week and beat the Chiefs. They show up the next week and get blown out by the Atlanta Falcons. It's not consistent for me enough. Number 6, the Packers take on the Bears in Sunday Night Football. It's the longest rival in NFL history, and they dominated 41-25. Rodgers only threw for 215 yards, but he had 4 touchdown passes. The defense looked pretty good, forcing the first turnovers from Mitchell Trubisky. That Mitchell Trubisky started this game for the Bears. He didn't look very good. Bears couldn't get anything going on offense. And this game was really out of hand. It was 34-10 headed into the fourth quarter. The Bears have a lot of quarterback issues. Mitchell Trubisky's not very good. Nick Foles isn't what they thought he would be. And I think their coach might pay the piper at the end of the year. I think he will be out of there. There's too many excuses for him. And I just think they're going to be gone. His defense is good. And what I saw in this game is they have a good defense, but they know their offense isn't going to score points. They know their offense isn't very good. And when you know that, you don't play typically hard on defense. It can kind of kill your want to get out there on the field. And I saw the kind of defense kind of not quit, but they didn't seem like they had much energy after Green Bay put up more points, and they knew they could score. So that was that game there. All right, guys, it's time for me to bring my buddy in, Jeff. He is on the line with us this week. How are you doing, Jeff? How was your Thanksgiving?
I'm doing pretty good. My Thanksgiving was pretty good. We just kind of like chilled out, me and the wife, and cooked and kind of put everything together. We were going to go to see my mom, but she's diabetic, so we were kind of like, let's just chill out at the house and hopefully see her another time. So she was cool with that. So I think she just kind of wanted to relax too. She works really hard right now, especially this time of year. So she probably just wanted to like chill out and not have to entertain or anything. So, but other than that, we're good. We watched we usually watch the parade on TV every year, and then we watched the dog show because it's pretty hilarious. So we that, and then I think I watched the Cowboys get completely owned,
demolished. Yeah.
And then that was kind of it, really. And then I think we watched a few movies. So, but yeah, other than that, we just chilled out.
Sounds relaxing. We had let's see. Let me count up the amount of people we had at our house at Thanksgiving. We had 25 people in our house at one time. He's kidding.
Jeez.
So, and most of those were kids. So it was loud and rambunctious, but we had a good time. We had a lot of food. We still got the fridge is still full of leftovers we've been snacking on. And it's about time to toss those away because it's, they're only good for so long. But
yeah.
Speaking of, one thing I didn't write in our little thing here is, what did you see? Did you see the fake punt the Cowboys tried to do? It was
no, I don't think I watched the whole thing. I think I was tuning in and out, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
it's funny. They were only down by 4 points with 12 minutes to go in the fourth on their own 23. And it's 4th and 10. They decided to fake it. They don't get it. They actually lost yards on it. They give the ball right back to the Redskins right there in scoring distance. The very next play, they run for a touchdown, 23-yard touchdown. And it basically sealed the deal. And they were like, is this the play that's going to cost us our season? Like, what are we doing? And it was pretty funny.
I remember seeing the score was really close to the end. And I was like, really? Are they going to sneak out a win after all this stuff? And then I think I glanced back at it again. And I was like, what? How did that happen?
Yeah. It was a close game all the way until that fake punt. And then they went up 7. And then the next drive, like a couple plays later, Andy Dalton threw a interception. It was pick 6, and it was just went all downhill. But we were sitting here going, "Why are you fake punting? What in the world?" So it was insane. They were talking about how stupid it was, but let's go ahead and jump into the sidelines edition here. We got a little bit to talk about here on the sidelines edition, and I don't know if you saw this, Jeff, but Sarah Fuller gets the start as the first female player to play football on a Power 5 college football team. She kicked off the second half of the game. She's a soccer player that they saw could kick the soccer ball the full length of the field, and they said, "Hey, why don't we try you out?" And it's for Vanderbilt. All their kickers are off on the COVID list, so they brought her in. And she kicked Vanderbilt's so bad, Jeff, that she didn't get a lot of opportunities to kick the ball. She actually only kicked off the second half. And when she kicked it, it went maybe like 25 yards. And I was like, that's bad. Like, what in the world? And I was I was ready to come on here and kill it and be like, okay, because of course it's got a lot of attention, first female football player in a Power 5 school, and it got a lot of attention. And I was like, that was a bad kick. And that's all she could do. This was just a publicity stunt, right?
Yeah.
But I heard her interview today. I actually heard her interview today, and she said that's exactly what the coach told her to do, because Vanderbilt has a lot of kickoff returns against them because they don't have a good team, and a lot of teams just run the kick return right on back for a touchdown. So they wanted a little pooch kick where they could jump on the ball and the play would be over. So she did her job, and I was like, oh, thank goodness, because if that's as far as she could kick the ball, then this is a publicity stunt. So me and the wife talk all the time about females playing football, and I'm a realist, Jeff. I have 4 girls, and look, they can grow up to be whatever they want to be, but you're not going to see a female quarterback in the NFL. You're not going to see a female linebacker in the NFL. It's just never going to happen. So kicker would be the only position that they could do it. So I think it's awesome that she did it. I hope she's going to start for them coming up this next week. Hopefully she gets more opportunities to kick an actual field goal, because Vanderbilt didn't score any points. So hopefully she gets to be able to show that off a little bit more. And I think if female kickers can be a part of the league, then I think that's great for them.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing, I guess, mainly because you have that physical aspect to it. So not to say that it can't happen, but I think that if there ever is anything like that, there should be some kind of kind of like how there's WNBA, you know what I mean? Kind of like that, where it's like they have their own thing, their own league.
Yeah, they do have a league, but it's like a lingerie league, so it's not really big.
It's yeah.
And
I mean, like a
you know,
legitimate NFL,
yeah.
kind of thing.
I mean, I'm fine with the NFL kicker being female if she can kick the ball. I mean, the Vanderbilt kicker, after she kicked the ball, she grabbed a tee and she ran to the sideline. You know, I don't expect her to go out there and try and tackle somebody because, she could probably get it done, but it's not going to look very pretty at all. If you have more of this happen, you're probably going to have females getting laid out. And that's just not a good look and it's just the way it is. Guys are usually a lot stronger than females. It's just the way it is. I'm not trying to come on here and sound sexist. All right. Trust me, I got 4 girls at my own. I want to raise them that they can, teach them they can be whatever they want. They hard work, dedication to do those things. But I'm also a realist, and I know that, there's never going to be a quarterback in the NFL or anything like that. She set her own path right there to hopefully maybe she gets she's actually a soccer star. So she's really good. She's from Texas. Next year, I think she's going to be the kicker for the UNT right here in Denton, Texas here. So be the goalkeeper there for them. But I thought it was kind of a cool story, and that was all over the place this last weekend.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's just if there ever is anything like that, I wouldn't be opposed to the NFL having some kind of official thing. You know what I mean? Like it would
right.
be like the WNBA, where it's like there's not very many teams and the season's super short, but it does give them another avenue to go down, so that women that want to do it get to do that. You know what I mean? So
right. And then also another woman broke a berry this weekend of the San Francisco 49ers. The tight end coach had to miss the game, and they elevated I forget her name, but she's a female. They elevated her to be a position coach of tight ends, and she's the first female position coach in the NFL to be in charge of a game like that. So a lot of different things happening for the females, and that's wonderful. So my second sideline note here is LeBron James gets a 2-year, $85 million extension from the Los Angeles Lakers. That's great for him, great for LA. He's 35, about to be 36 years old. I don't know if he'll play the full two more years. There is a clause in his contract to bounce out after next season. Now they're talking about him trying to play with his son, Jeff. His son, I believe in 2 more years can join the NBA. So he may bounce out from the Lakers and go wherever his son goes, which should be kind of interesting. But I don't know if he can still do it at 39 years old there. But he's already doing things that at his age he shouldn't be able to do. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
We're assuming his son's going to the NBA, by the way. I'm kidding.
Well, his son will. I mean, he will. He's playing high school right now, and next year is the year that they're actually allowing, because they took it away where you can't join basketball straight from high school. You have to go at least 1 year in college. They took that away next year, so people can come straight from high school. Now you got to be good enough. I don't think they're just going to think, oh, well, this is LeBron James' son. Let's throw him on the NBA. You've got to be good enough to earn it. I think he'll probably have to go to college for at least a year. I don't really know how good he is. He's been playing basketball for a long time, but
I'm joking about that, by the way.
No,
I don't. I mean, this he could be like insanely good, but I'm kidding when I'm like he may not. I mean, I think the thing is like I don't. He's good. Well, the bad part about it is he's going to be immediately compared, and I think that's completely.
Yeah, he will be
off. Trying to put yourself on that kind of a level just because it's your dad is kind of difficult.
Yeah, and it's not a fair comparison, but that's what he will be compared to.
Of course.
Right when he comes in. The NBA has released the Christmas headliners as they start in about 45 days, Jeff. the Christmas games, you got the Pelicans versus the Heat. So Zion versus Jimmy Butler. You got the Golden State Warriors and Milwaukee Bucks. You got the Brooklyn Nets taking on the Boston Celtics. You got the defending, that's right, Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Dallas Mavericks on Christmas Day. And then the late game is the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Denver Nuggets. So these are the games. Usually Christmas is a big day for the NBA. They try to put the better teams or the better superstars on the court that day because they know people are going to be at home watching. So I'm really interested to see the Mavericks and Lakers play. Luka Doncic is his star and it is just on the rise. He's a rising star in the league, one of the best in the game today. This Laker team has gotten better this offseason. I'm super excited. I can feel a repeat coming, Jeff. I can feel it. We got a lot better this offseason, so interested for that. We're Brooklyn Nets. You got Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving there playing for the first time together versus Celtics. So you got some really good games there going on Christmas Day. And yeah, I don't know how you feel about that, but that's a pretty good lineup in my opinion.
Well, did they re-sign?
We haven't re-signed Anthony Davis yet.
Okay.
I hear he's going to meet with him. I heard this week there was rumors that he's waiting to figure out a way. And which is interesting too, because they haven't signed AD yet, and they just gave LeBron James a 2-year, $85 million extension. So I know the money tree's drying up. So we got to get Anthony Davis signed. I don't have any worry of him leaving. The rumor is he's trying to work out a deal that's team friendly so that they can recruit the Greek Freak there next year and be able to afford him. So I don't know. I don't think the Greek Freak is going to leave and come to LA, but that's what the rumor was. So he's trying to figure it out, how long of a term he wants, and can he make it team friendly to add one more superstar? So I don't know. So if the Greek Freak comes to the Los Angeles Lakers, y'all might as well count it up, just give him the rings because it's over.
I mean, that sounds like a stretch to think that he's going to come there. I don't know.
They got to try and recruit everybody, just like they tried with Kawhi Leonard last year.
But when you do that, if you leave some money on that table, I mean, there is a possibility that once LeBron's gone, I guess the ideal, like so whenever people want to come play, right? They're like, okay, well, I want to go play with LeBron. Okay, well, when he leaves or when he's done and he's out, I mean, what's the reason to go play in LA? You know what I mean? Other than, okay, it's LA, it's the lights, it's the big show, it's the whatever. But
exactly. Well, we're hoping as a Laker fan base, the reason would be Anthony Davis. If LeBron leaves, it's Anthony Davis.
But is that enough?
Oh yeah, he's a top. I mean, he's top. Yeah, right. He's a top 5 player.
But comparing that to somebody like LeBron, where he'll bring people in just on the name alone, be like, okay, Anthony Davis is there, but
well, yeah, you got to look at it. I mean, usually look at LeBron's past. Usually, when he leaves a team, they go completely under, and I get that, because they didn't really have anybody else. It was literally LeBron dragging them along, especially there in Cleveland. When he leaves the LA Lakers, I don't know if he's going to retire with us or leave and go somewhere else. Anthony Davis will take over being the number one guy as long as he stays. Now, if Anthony Davis leaves, we're completely screwed. If Anthony Davis stays, other superstars are going to want to go, I believe, because they're going to be like, well, I can jump in LeBron's spot and take over, and we could be a big duo right now. And I think of somebody would want to do that if they really want to play with LA, and Anthony Davis is a top 5 player in the league. I have no problem with that, but I don't know how long Anthony Davis' contract's going to get. So it's a lot up in the air in the future going forward.
Well, and it's also personalities too. Can these people know each other and they hear things, and it's like if Anthony Davis personality wise doesn't work with certain players, or certain players don't work with him, that's not going to be a good match. It doesn't matter who or how much you get. If they don't work well together. You're not going to have a good team.
You just saw that with the Clippers. The Clippers on paper had a better team than the Los Angeles Lakers. Their locker room was a mess. They didn't play very well together, and that backfired on them. It's just all up in the air. We'll see. Now, the great thing, well, a lot of people hate this, but LeBron James is very smart, and he basically runs the NBA. His best friend is also his agent, basically, and his agent has all the major superstars, basically, of the NBA. So they say that LeBron controls where players go, and it has a lot of influence on that. I'm just hoping Anthony Davis stays once LeBron leaves, and then someone joins in, and we can continue to be successful. I don't know if we'll continue.
I don't know if LeBron controls where people go. That's a bit of a just because of his age. I mean,
that's what people say, Jeff. That LeBron controls the NBA, and he does have quite a bit of.
Then why didn't Kawhi Leonard come to LA?
That's Kawhi. We're not going to get everybody, but because Kawhi Leonard doesn't have his agent either, so.
Well, I don't know. It depends on the player, man. Like, honestly, it just depends on what he sees fit and who he thinks will work well together and who won't. And if I was a player making the decision, I would be like, I know that person I get along with even outside the court. So I'm confident we'll work well on the court. And I think that's huge, more than anything.
It's interesting that because I talked about this a long time ago on the podcast about basketball can be a weird sport in that way. There's only 5 people on the court at a time, sharing the basketball. You can add all the talent you want, and it may never work out because they don't match their game. I think NBA is kind of the only sport that does that, where I can add all the talent I want on one team. But just because you add that talent doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be very successful. We've seen that in Boston the last couple of years. They've been adding this talent, and it hasn't added up to the championships like they wanted. Especially with Kyrie Irving, they brought Kyrie Irving in. Oh man, this looks great, and it all fell apart. And he goes to the Nets, and they play playing like crap. He gets injured, and they start playing a lot better. So we'll see what happens up there with the Nets. But I think it's fascinating that NBA is like that, because you going into your sport, you add talent, more than likely, that means you're going to be better or more successful, have a better shot. But in the NBA, like you're talking about, that chemistry's not there on the court, especially you just think you ain't going to win. So,
yeah.
But the spotlight of the week, Jeff, and this is bringing your team directly in fire of the spotlight of the week. And it's kind of just how COVID's affected things this year so far. But so far we've seen teams fined, right? We've seen teams fined for not following protocol. We've seen coaches and players get fined and lose money. We've seen teams lose draft picks. The Saints lost a 7th round draft pick a couple weeks ago because they refused to follow some simple protocols. Well, Jeff, the most absurd one we have seen was last Sunday when the NFL forced the Denver Broncos to play a game without a quarterback on the roster. No quarterbacks. You got to go out and play a game.
You don't need quarterbacks, Brian.
I'm going to stop there before I tell you how I feel about all that. I'm going to let you talk since it is your team, and go from there, because it's crazy, but it's crazy. It's crazy. Go ahead from there.
Well, it forced me to watch the game. No, I'm kidding. Because it was.
I kind of wanted to watch and see how much of a crap show it was, but.
Well, I'll say early on it was a little weird. They did a lot of Wildcat stuff, but I heard about it Saturday. I think you texted me, and I was like, "What are they talking about?" And so there's this thing on Twitter that I've subscribed to called Barstool Sports or whatever, and so they kept doing these random memes about it. I was like, "What are they talking about?" and I didn't know what was going on. And so I thought it was a joke. At first, I thought something happened to Drew Lock. I was like, dang it, is he injured? Or I'm like, all right, whatever. So I just thought he was injured because it's happened a few times in the season. We've had injuries and stuff. So I was like, okay, it's probably just something weird. And then it mentioned COVID, and I was like, I guess he got it, So I was like, okay, I guess he's not going to play. But then and then I read more about it, and I was like, what is going on? How are all of our quarterbacks out? And so then they were going to start this guy who hasn't played a game since college at the position. And actually, I think I heard he was not even supposed to be on a team, really. I think he was supposed to be on the practice squad. But, yeah, it was just kind of a weird thing. I watched it. I knew this was going to be – I knew we were going to lose. I knew we were going to lose, mainly because the Saints have a good defense. Our defense would hold them, but – again, they're going to get worn out because it's going to be a lot of 3 and outs. It's going to be a lot of just nothing, and the defense can only hold up for so long until they get worn down, and then they're going to be scored on and stuff. So, but what shocked me was right when the game started, you had Philip Lindsay behind center, and I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what is this? And they were just running a wildcat. And all of a sudden, they snap the ball. He grabs it. He's running. And at first, I was like, this is actually working, which is hilarious. Like, he got a first down, like, immediately. I was like, what is this? So, and it completely – and I wish they kind of kept that because it was really interesting because it was throwing the Saints off. They had no idea they were doing that. Completely threw them off. They were no idea that was going on. And I think it threw a lot of fans off because we kept thinking – oh, it's going to be this, it's going to be this. And then we see Philip Lindsay out there, and I'm like, where's the quarterback? Where's the supposed to be quarterback? So, and then what's stupid is they get to a third down and like 2, and then they bring the guy out. And I'm like, wait, why are we bringing him out at a 3rd and 2 when we've been running this wildcat and it's been working? And then as soon as they snap the ball, he overthrows the guy, or he throws it out of bounds or something like that. And I was like, that was a waste. So it was kind of like that most of the game. And I will say that the Denver defense completely owned the Saints in the first 3 quarters at least, or first 2 quarters. And you had sacks, you had contested passes, they did well. And it kind of started falling apart because there was a lot of turnovers on offense. Like at one point, Philip Lindsay was behind center. They were doing the wildcat thing again. And the center, who isn't very good, at least this one, I think our real one's hurt, snapped it and undersnapped it. Philip Lindsay tried to grab it, and then he tried to grab it and run instead of drop on it, and he missed it. So they grabbed it and they ran down, and Garrett Bowles out of nowhere just like completely tripped the guy, and he was in with 5 yards. I think he was within 5 yards. So they already had scored earlier, kind of on a weird play, and then that play threw it up, and they scored again on that play. So that was a give me touchdown. And then the quarterback for the Broncos, this guy, I can't remember his name. Is it Hilton? Something like
Kendall
that?
Hendon.
Okay. So he did a lot of like kind of long, huge throws. And I'm like, for a person who has not been in the league playing quarterback and hasn't played quarterback and thrown a pass since 2017 in college, why are you heaving it? Why are you throwing it downfield?
That's
not
coaching.
It's that, but it's also, it's like we didn't come up with another game plan, that we just kind of kept our game plan in there.
Exactly.
But I'm like, he was underthrowing. And there were 2 times where easily was picked off, but the guy dropped the ball or something happened weird. And I'm like, gosh, we're dodging a bullet here. And then the third time he did it, same thing. And the guy he read it immediately, underthrew it, interception. I was like, see, like, we're playing with fire. I knew this was going to happen if he kept doing that. And so it was just a mess, man. It was a mess from the beginning. They should have rescheduled the game. I know we already had a game earlier this year that was rescheduled, but I mean, come on now. Like, it was just, you're running a lot of risks with this game. And you're running.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm about to get into the rescheduling, Jeff.
Okay.
So you're exactly right. All right. Kendon Hill, the poor guy, you can't blame one bit. He hasn't he only threw like 70 passes when he played quarterback in college, not very many. Comes in, he's pulled from your practice squad. The coaching staff doesn't change up the game plan. He's throwing bombs down the field. He only had 13 yards the whole game. They tied a record, Jeff. Not a record you want to tie. It was they went the whole first half not completing a pass, and that's the first time since Tim Tebow that has happened. So it's not very good. So first of all, the Broncos got embarrassed by the Saints. They didn't have a quarterback. They get beat 31-3. They get embarrassed because the NFL used them to send a message. That's all this was, Jeff. Which I get. I get they wanted to send a message because they take this matter of COVID very seriously, and we understand that. Now, that being said, the NFL shouldn't have forced them to play with no quarterback. For one, Jeff, just think about this, and this is why I'm frustrated with it. I got 2 reasons. One, if they had just moved your game back to Monday night, one day, Jeff, you would have had a quarterback. You would have had a quarterback. If they moved it back to Monday night, I found this out the other day, that Drew Lock would have been able to play. Just one game, one day, and your quarterback would have been there. So they didn't. So they decided to punish the Denver Broncos because the reason why is because the Denver Broncos, the quarterbacks were not wearing their mask. One of their quarterbacks got it, and since they all weren't wearing their mask in the same room, it's contract tracing, and they took them all out. And that's why they said they didn't come out and say they're punishing them, but it's basically a punishment. The second issue I have that I'm more mad about is they gave the Saints an easy win. They gave them the win. It was served up on a silver platter for these teams like my team, the Green Bay Packers, the Seattle Seahawks, the Rams, the Buccaneers, the Cardinals, or fighting for position in the NFC. We lost out on a game because the NFL decided to send a message. I think if you want to send a message, you fine them with a heavier paycheck. I believe your coach has already been fined this year for that. Or you take away a bigger draft pick, up the ante with it. But to force them to play the game on a Sunday with no quarterback is giving the Saints an easy win. There's no integrity in the game anymore. Just to send a message. You move the game back on Monday, and then you find the hell out of the Denver Broncos and take a draft pick. You took a draft pick from the Saints. It was only a 7th rounder. Maybe you take a 4th rounder. I don't know. But to force them to play a game, now we already know they're going to lose, was ridiculous, in my opinion. They also, Jeff, they threw in a little cushion at the end of the year called Week 18, but they could have moved this game back and played then. They could have done the same thing with the Raiders and Steelers. That game was moved 3 different times because the Ravens have 23 people on their staff who had COVID or tracing and they were out. Why are they not using that 18th week in the NFL to make up for that? So they're just very inconsistent with their punishment, and that's just the way the NFL is, right? Roger Goodell plays judge and jury there and executioner. I just don't understand it. You look a couple of weeks ago when the New England Patriots, Cam Newton got Cam Newton got COVID because he had a dinner with Gilmore with no mask on. He got it, and they pushed their game back. He broke protocol. They pushed their game back a couple of days to allow for Cam Newton to play. So I don't understand what the difference is here. If moving the game back one day would have had Drew Lock playing in this game. And I don't know if they win because the Saints probably still win. It's more of a competitive game. There's a chance. That's my issue with it. That's why I'm like, man, it's the inconsistency of it is the big issue for me when it comes to the COVID and punishments and everything else that goes on in this league.
I mean, there's a few things that I have problems with. I wish they would have pushed it back. I do think it was unfortunate because as much as the Broncos have been winning games as of late, and it really frustrating because you have two quarterbacks who or two teams who have new quarterbacks that came, or at least one of them definitely has a new quarterback because of Breeze. But what I think is ridiculous is that it's not like our season was technically over. And yeah, we're 4-7, I think. Now we're 4-8. Is that right? I thought we were something like that. And if we had potentially had an opportunity to win that game, we'd be 5-7. And I'm just like, I'm not understanding. Granted, I know we're going to probably lose against, certain teams like the Chiefs or whatever, but still, like, you're taking away an opportunity for this team to bounce back after a really bad start to the season with injuries and everything else. And because of what? It's just making a statement, I get, but everything is still so new. These are kids, this is one of the youngest teams in the NFL. Like, and granted, we find them today, I know Big Fangio find them, or the Broncos organization find them, but, it is what it is. It's unfortunate, but I'm not going to sit there and be like, okay, whatever, Drew Lock and the other guys messed up. Yeah, they messed up, but I don't think you penalize them for something this extreme. You penalize the entire team. And honestly, this is another issue. The NFL is so worried about concussion protocol and all these things, and you're putting this dude in the line of fire. This guy who hasn't thrown a football from the quarterback's position since college, and even when he did then, it was extremely minimal. Extremely minimal. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass since 2017, and you're throwing him into the Lions' den with one of the top defenses in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me?
And I honestly do wish the Denver Broncos would have just refused to play, Jeff. I thought that would have been a big statement for them. I know it would have been a forfeit and you lost the game anyways, but it's just ridiculous. And I think, we all understand that going into this year that things are going to be a little different. Things are going to, be moved around and do different things this year because of COVID. We understand it. But this was just making an example out of Denver when they didn't have to. Like I said, they could have fined him more. They could have took away a higher pick, a 4th-round draft pick, a 3rd-round draft pick, whatever, moved it back to Monday, and they would have had a quarterback to play. It would have been more fair that's what the NFL is supposed to do. It's supposed to make each game as fair, give everyone an even playing field as fair as possible. We know injuries happen, but that's not the NFL's fault. But the NFL completely didn't care about that. They gave the Saints a win. The Saints are 9-2 now. They're the number one team in the NFC. My team is fighting for that spot. So that's one game. That's one game that we got to fight back and try and get back because the NFL basically gave them the game away. Now, I don't think they would have beat Denver, but things happen, right? Any given Sunday with starting team out there, anything can happen. And you bring up a very good point there. I didn't even think of is concussion protocol. And this guy was thrown out there and he was forced to be in a very dangerous position, not really knowing what he's doing. The coaching staff didn't really seem to give him an easy playbook when they're having him heave it down 30 yards, 40 yards downfield. So there's a lot of craziness, and it was just a lot of crap that went on this Sunday that really didn't need to happen.
No, and it's just I guess my thing is the defense is doing well. I was completely like, yeah, the defense is they're holding their own. I was a little worried in the beginning. They were running the ball pretty easy in that first couple of drives. But the defense kind of stepped up. There was a lot of honestly, I had nothing wrong with that defense. It was until it started getting out of hand in the third quarter. And I think that was the turnovers that caused that. There were a lot of turnovers where you put the same really go to like 20, 30 yards downfield score, and it was just kind of, to me, it wasn't the defense that did that. It was the offense that kind of struggled there and turned the ball over. And the defense, it's not like the defense they weren't put into great positions to really stop them in that particular instance, because once you put them so close, you're giving them points for that at that point. So when the defense were given a lot of room to work with, they were shutting them down. So I'm just like, if you gave them an opportunity, if you gave them a chance with Locke in quarterback position, I do think the Broncos would have made this a lot closer of a game. The defense wouldn't have been out there nearly as often. We wouldn't have nearly as many 3-and-outs like we were having. It was just, I don't know. I think that it would have this game would have been a lot closer. And potentially, we could have possibly won the game. I mean, it was.
Mm-hmm. Taysom Hill only had like 89 yards passing. He wasn't out there lighting it up.
Nope.
So y'all did. I think that's just your defense being worn out after being on the field all day long because you're 3-and-outs. You only had 13 yards passing the whole complete game. So it kind of when I watched the Packer game, I recorded and watched it on Monday, and the Bears have a really good defense, but they have no offense. And they know once Green Bay got up on them, I saw the Bears defense quit. They quit. They were like, well, we can't score on offense. This team's up by 21 points. And they gave up, and that'll happen. So, I'm not saying the Broncos defense completely gave up, but at a certain point, you're super tired. Your offense, you're just kind of looking for the game to be over with at a certain point.
I think
it's been a bad spot, man. Spot.
I think some of the players were like, we're just trying to get through the game.
Yeah.
Because it's just one of those where you're like, what do we do? And I don't know. The NFL is accountable for that. And I honestly, as much as I wouldn't have wanted to see it happen, I and deep down was like, this guy, if he got a concussion from a big hit, being behind center like that, that's on the NFL.
Yeah.
That would be completely on the NFL. And I think the Broncos would have an absolute chance of, bringing some walls down on that one. Because if he had gotten hurt because the NFL threw him out there and forced the Broncos to throw someone out there, knowing they were not going to be ready for that, it would have been big trouble legally. There would be a lot going on there. So, and I think even the public would be like, why did the NFL do that? It would be interesting. They would not want to see that come to, in the public eye like that. They do not want concussion issues or, putting players in harm's way. No. They don't want that. So, luckily he didn't get hurt, but if he did, man, it would have been bad. It would have been
bad. You got it. The good thing is they picked a pretty fast. He seemed like he was quick on his feet because he got to, quarterbacks got to keep their head on a swivel there. But one thing I forgot to mention in sidelines before we move on to the next topic here. You brought up legal action, and you remember what happened to Tyrod Taylor this year?
It was something about him, his trainer, right? The medical staff.
Yes, the medical staff. He had some broken ribs. They went to give him some medicine to numb it, some pain medicine, and they ended up puncturing his lung. So that he had to miss the game, and basically he's lost his job. Justin Herbert's come in as a rookie and has been playing damn good. He's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. and Tyrod Taylor is now a backup quarterback because of it. He came out today and said he will not pursue any legal action, which I figured he would. He lost his job because of something that a NFL team doctor punctured his lung. I figured he would want to get some money back for that, but he's decided that he's going to be a bigger person, I guess, and not do so. I saw that earlier today on ESPN. So, which pretty interesting because he had every right to, but he decided not to, and he'll be a backup, and I guess he's fine with that. All right, our next is the top 5 games of coming up week 13 here. Number 1, Jeff, we got the Titans versus the Browns, and these are 2 teams that have a similar concept. They want to run the ball down your throat, pass every now and then, and play good defense. And they both do that pretty well. The Browns are a quiet team this year. They have a pretty good record. They're quietly just winning games. The Tennessee Titans just dominated the Colts. Derrick Henry, I just talked about that. He had 187 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. I think the Titans are going to be too much for the Cleveland Browns this week. I got the Titans winning that game and Derrick Henry having another big game for the Tennessee Titans. What do you got?
I'll go with the Titans. The Browns have been picking up some steam as of late, but I think the Titans are on a different level, running game wise, defensive wise, and stuff. I think the Titans are. I think they're a better team than the Browns, even though the Browns have played better.
Yeah, the Browns. I really like what the coach has done there with them. He's kind of calmed down the noise of everything, and we really haven't heard much coming from Cleveland this year. So, but they've come out and they got a winning record going forward, and so. But I just think Titans will be too much for them. Number 2, Jeff, the Saints versus the Falcons. And I put this in there because it's a rival game. It's a division game. The Saints are playing without Drew Brees again. The Falcons are 4-2 since firing their general manager and head coach. I got the upset alert here. I got the Falcons picking up the victory over the Saints on Sunday.
Didn't they blow out somebody? The Falcons?
They just blew out the Raiders 43-6. It was surprising.
I think this is the moment where we finally go, okay, them without Drew Brees. Yeah, this is going to be that game. I think where I think it might be close, but honestly, I think this whole thing with this backup quarterback and stuff, he's all right.
He's not good,
but he's not gonna beat Matt Ryan and the Falcons.
He doesn't throw the ball. He doesn't throw the ball very well. He's more of a gadget guy.
Yeah.
I honestly think they should go with Jameis Winston, who could throw the ball downfield. I think they might. I don't know if they can consider it. I don't think so, but. You want a guy that's going to be able to throw the ball down the field and compete against Matt Ryan, because Matt Ryan throws the ball down the field. He has weapons, Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley. They've been playing a lot better since Dan Quinn got fired. I just think this is a perfect trap game for the Saints, and I just think it is a good upset alert game. So
yeah, I think it is.
It's almost perfect there. Number 3, we got the Rams versus the Cardinals. Now, the Rams is coming off a not an embarrassing loss. They did lose to the 49ers 23-20. The Rams can be inconsistent because of Jared Goff. This defense the Rams has is very good. Darnold is a beast up front in that line. The Cardinals are they're hit or miss. Some games that come out and play really well. Some games they don't. So I got the Rams winning this game. I think the Rams will bounce back. They just got to be able to stop Kyle Murray from running all over them, and Jared Goff's got to play better and not turn over the football so much. But I think the Rams get the job done with that defense.
I think so too. It seems like Murray's having a bit of issues. They lost this last week, I think, right?
Yeah, they lost to the Patriots.
Yeah, and then they lost the week before that, right?
They lost on the Hail Mary to the Bills. Yep.
Yeah.
They dropped 2 in a row.
Yeah.
And you go look at the Patriots game. I looked up all the stats, and they won every stat statistically: rushing yards, passing yards, time possession, turnover battle. They third down cover. They won all that. They should have won that game. I actually watched the end of that game, and the Cardinals actually missed a field goal to go ahead. The Patriots got the ball back, and Cam Newton takes a shot. He starts running the ball. And he was still in the field of play, but the guy lays a lick on him. You should go look up. He lays out Cam Newton. It was close to the sidelines. They throw a 15-yard penalty. I think it was more of the helmet. He hit him helmet to helmet. That gave him 15 yards. He literally ran one more play. It put him in field position for a field goal, and they kicked the field goal and won the game. So a big penalty ended up costing them at the end of the game there. But the Cardinals have kind of dropped off a little bit as far as the hype factor going into Kyle Murray.
I think the Rams might win this one, just because he's got a. I don't think this is one of those games where it's like, oh, okay, you can. This team is not very good. You can kind of gain that confidence back and beat them. I don't think it's going to be like that with this game.
No, that's defense. Rams defense is going to pressure him, and Ramsey's going to be able to shut down DeAndre Hopkins or become pretty close to it. So they're going to need other guys to step up and play better. But I just don't think this is the game that they're going to get their season back on track. Number 4, Jeff, we got the Bills versus the 49ers, and the 49ers just came off beating the Rams, a game that I thought I picked the Rams to win, but the 49ers got the job done. They're very well coached. I really like Shanahan out there, what he's doing. And Mullins is not that bad of a quarterback, and they're still going to be without Jimmy Garoppolo. But I just got the Bills winning this game. The Bills started off really hot during this year. They want back-to-back losses, and they kind of lost that steam and that momentum and being in the spotlight. But they've won 2 or 3 games in a row now, I believe. And the Bills will get the job done against the 49ers, playing steady defense. Josh Allen is still having one hell of a year, and they look very good out there in Buffalo.
Yeah, I think the Bills will win this one. They're to me, they're a sleeper team. And I think if they catch fire towards the end, that's a team to look out for, man.
That's exactly right. Josh Allen's taken a leap this year, and he's playing really well. Go look at his numbers. They're all top, they're top 8, top 6, top 5 in the league. And he's playing very good, consistent. They have a good defense. I like their coach as well. And I think they get the job done, and they'll be in the playoffs. They should win their division. Miami's battling for them for the division right now, so that'll be a good battle there going on at the end of the season. All right, Jeff, number 5. You got the undefeated Steelers. They just won 11-0 as they beat the Ravens tonight. The undefeated Steelers versus the Washington football team, formerly known as the Redskins, Jeff. I've got, Jeff, the upset alert. That's right. Washington football team gives the Steelers their first loss of the year. And no, Jeff, I am not joking on this one. I think the Steelers are going to lose a game. We don't expect them to do so. That the Redskins just demolished the Cowboys. They've got talent on the offense. A little bit. They got a decent running back. They got one good wide receiver. Alex Smith's a good bus driver. This defense front line, is really good for Washington. I think they'll be able to pressure Ben Roethlisberger. And if they show up and play like they did against the Dallas Cowboys, the Steelers played them lackluster, I think Washington's going to get this win, Jeff. And it surprised me, but I was like, this is a game I can see the Steelers losing. Because it's just Washington, and Washington they're not very good, but their defensive front line's really good. They're going to be able to pressure Ben Roethlisberger, slow down the run game of the Steelers, and as long as they can give Alex Smith enough time, and he's able to get the ball out quickly, I think they could beat him, Jeff. I think they could do it.
So they played today, right?
Yeah, Steelers played today. They beat Baltimore, who had RG3 as quarterback. They beat them 19-14, so it wasn't and it don't demolish them or anything like that.
So this definitely could be an upset, and it's always weird games like this where you're like, they lost to the Redskins. It's kind of like the Chiefs lost to the Raiders. You know what I mean? And then you look, and the Raiders completely got owned by the Falcons. So it's just it's got it right. The writing's on the wall on this one. You definitely could possibly see one of those weird games where you're like, and again, a loss is a loss. So if they lose by a field goal, then that's what they lost by. You know what I mean? So it's possible that they could potentially lose this game. I'll go with the upset on this one.
You're going upset on it too?
Yeah.
I see it. And I think Washington, I think they're more talented than people give them credit for. I really like the coach they brought in to give this organization, which is a bad organization, some stability there. So I really like them. They got Jack Del Rio coaching the defense. I really like their defense. Their defensive line is filled with first-round draft picks. They just got to get a little better on the offensive side. They got to find them a future quarterback, but I think they're a team that can compete if they're able to find a quarterback. Get a couple more pieces on offense. I think the Washington Redskins could be a Washington football team. Could be a decent team. Breaking news, Jeff. It just broke through ESPN. The Houston Rockets agree to trade Russell Westbrook to the Washington Wizards for John Paul and a first-round draft pick. So John Wall gets out of Washington. He goes to join James Harden in Houston. Now, there was rumors that James Harden wanted to leave. He denied. We know we talked about that a couple weeks ago. He denied the big contract extension. But the owners said, hey, I still have your contract, and we're looking to make you guys, where it can be. He said it's going to get uncomfortable around here when they head into the regular season because he wasn't going to just trade people away. I think getting Westbrook out of there was a great idea. I think he clashed with Harden. I don't think Harden really wanted to play with him. Their games don't go well together at all. So I think it's a good move for them. Now, is this enough to keep James Harden there? I don't know. I think really the James Harden time in Houston is up. I think we've seen what as far as they can get, and it's not a championship. But I guess they're going to try and keep him, and they added John Wall, maybe use that first-round draft pick on somebody and see where they can go from there. But that just broke down on ESPN right now. So I thought
it's interesting. Interesting, like right before the season's going to start. That's going to be interesting.
It is. I'm not a big fan of Russell Westbrook as far as this. I like his attitude, just everything, but his just the way he plays. He doesn't shoot the ball too well, and he plays more of a selfish style basketball, and so does James Harden. James Harden's more of a ISO guy. He wants the ball, and everyone get out of my way. So their games didn't match up very well together at all. So I
didn't think so.
Not in Houston, and so Westbrook will go and be a star and on a team that's not very good. And I give him respect for staying in Oklahoma as long as he did, and he actually would still be there. But they're the one that traded him, so
yeah,
respect for him. But man, that's going to wrap it up here. Episode number 28, number 29. We're almost to 30. We appreciate you guys listening to us. We do apologize if sometimes the podcast is on Wednesday or sometimes Thursdays, sometimes even Friday. But, last week we had the holiday coming up. So sometimes we just get a little busy and life happens. So, hey, Jeff, don't forget to send me your picks this week.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that. Yeah,
dude, you got 4 losses because you didn't send them to me, and I took off the Ravens game because it got moved so many times, and it wasn't, Thursday, Sunday, or Monday. So I was like, let's take that off. There was 4 games this week on those days, so So yeah, I was like, I have to give you the 4 losses, Moreau, but he texted back, life happens, or life, so. But I totally understand that. We're just busy around here, just trying to pack up things. We've been cleaning out the girls' toys and clothes, and just trying to get ready to start packing things that we don't necessarily need right now up to get ready for the big move. Plus, we got Christmas, and we dragging out the Christmas trees and the yard ornaments, and so it's been busy that way. And but that's all we got going on here at the Watson household.
Yeah, just been working with this stuff. This guy, me and him shooting stuff back and forth, and if you go on if you go on Northern Rescue's Facebook page, you can see the cover art is the thing I did. So I did that this last week, and I'm working on him stuff with him to put some stuff on their LinkedIn too. So, but yeah,
so Instagram or Facebook?
Facebook. The other ones were on Instagram. Okay, so they're on both. I think they're on Facebook and on the Instagram. So the stuff I've done with him so far, you can find it on their Facebook.
And what's it called? Northern
Rescue.
Okay, cool. Look it up. See what you're working on. So I've been doing that, and then playing COD. Playing PS5, yeah.
COD.
I need to go watch your stream. I was able to watch it the other day. I want to see it I want to see the online. Is the online good? Like this?
So the online's good. I just had some issues connecting. I think it was my internet at the time. So I had to, because I was in the middle of a stream, and then all of a sudden it kind of was just lag. I was like, dang it. So I had to go and reset my router. I don't think it was a server issue. I think it was my internet issue. But I've been playing a lot of Nuketown. I love that map. I loved it when I first played it a long time ago, and it's awesome now. So I don't know why. Some people hate it, but I've always liked that map. I don't know why.
Yeah. Once you get on a Call of Duty, you find the maps you like and don't like. Like my Call of Duty Warzone, there's a couple maps I won't play on. Like I'll just put it on random and play. I usually play team deathmatch or just straight up deathmatch. And there's some maps like comes on, I'm like, nope, I hate this map. I'll back out and try again. But it's funny you say that your stuff kind of lagging around. My Call of Duty the last couple of times I've gone on Warzone, it's been laggier than hell, man. I've had to back out and start again, and I don't know. I'm guessing, I don't know if it's internet or what. I was just like,
yeah,
our internet has been slow too, so I don't know what's going on with it, but
I know
it's
they're
very
gearing
frustrating.
up. I know they're gearing up for a new season for Warzone.
Yeah,
like supposedly the rumor is that they're going to nuke part of the map, and then I don't know when they'll probably announce it here in the next few days, but when they'll do that, because I've never seen any of these live events that happen right off the bat. When they did the reveal for this last one, they did like a crazy event. Like whenever that happens, I want to try to be there right when it's happening, because I think it's interesting. So if we find out when, I'm gonna hop on there and see that, and maybe try to live stream that, because that'll be cool to see something get nuked right then. And it's supposed to be like a reset for Cold War. So
nice. Okay. Yeah, I want to get Cold War. I've been contemplating on waiting to get a new game until I get to PlayStation 5. I know there's free upgrades. It's part of me just wants to wait until I get the new system where I can start adding new games to it. But I might get the Call of Duty Cold War, because I play Call of Duty more than I do anything else right now. Yeah,
I know. The thing is like it's like Cyberpunk's supposed to be coming out, like, and so everybody's,
dude, I know.
That's all you hear people talk about is that right now.
I might have to get that game on the PS4 just because it's going to be that good. So
yeah, it's going to be crazy. And it's one of those where it's like, everybody, anytime I'm listening to podcasts, they're like, oh, we're getting through our back catalog because I don't want to play anything too time strenuous because this game's going to take so much time. So I'm like, geez. And they're going to add a multiplayer aspect to that sometime next year.
Nice. So, we're still waiting for the last on this multiplayer, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get that out. Let's get that out, man.
Oh man.
But all right, man. I'm going to bounce off here. We appreciate you guys listening to us. You can find us on you can find us anywhere. You can find us on Twitch, Watsons_playbook. You can find us at gmail.com. You want to email us, it's watsonsplaybook@gmail.com. You want to find us on Facebook. You want to find us on Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can find the podcast, you can basically find us. Just reach out to us if you have any questions, anything you want us to talk to us about, any life problems you want us to solve, whatever you want to talk about, reach out to us. We'll definitely get back to you guys. We appreciate all that do listen and share with your friends. We're trying to get more followers, more listeners. And I appreciate you coming on, Jeff.
I appreciate being on.
All right, brother. Well, we will bounce on next week.
All right. I will try to get this out quick.
No problem. Sounds good, brother.
All right. Take care.
Take care.